Dharma Bites is brought to you by Free Buddhist Audio, the Dharma for your life. Our work is funded entirely by donations from our generous listeners. If you would like to help us keep this free, make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. Thank you, and happy listening.
And very, very respected. He lives in a palace. He lives in a palace full of treasures and fine art, surrounded by a beautiful garden, beautiful landscape garden full of peacocks. I'm making this up, but it's beautiful. It's all beautiful. He's surrounded by beautiful people, beautifully dressed, all behaving very well. He's got musicians. He holds court. He holds a sort of courtly sort of social life. When he goes out he doesn't just go down the shops. He goes out with elephants and banners and trumpets, and he's a big figure. He's a big figure. And he's surrounded by rich, beautiful people all the time. And one day, after decades of the son being separated and living this very, very low life, he happens in his travels to walk past the gates of his father's palace, and he sees his father sitting there sort of in state, surrounded by beautiful, well-dressed people. And he thinks, it's a king or something like that. And he's terrified. He thinks, I'm in the wrong place. I'm completely the wrong place. Imagine, I don't know what it might be like. You've been digging the garden, and you suddenly find yourself at a garden party in Buckingham Palace. And you sort of think, I'm out of here, I just don't feel right here at all. So that's how he feels. So he wants to get out of there. He's scared. He wants to get out of there. But his father sees him, and his father says to two of his servants, it's my son, catch that man. And he sees these guys running towards him. He thinks, I must have done something wrong. So he legs it. And these guys leg it after him. These guys, seeing him run, assume he must have done something wrong. So they leg it after him, rugby tackle him, bring him to the ground. And he's terrified. And he's fighting like Billy-O to get away. So the father sees this isn't quite working as he intended. It's not quite working as intended. So he calls them off. Leave him. So that he sees that this isn't going to work. So he lets him go. It says in the sutra, it sees that his son's disposition is inferior, and that his own lordly position causes him distress and fear. So he sees that his son's disposition is inferior, that his own lordly position causes him. His son's disposition is inferior, and that his own lordly position causes him distress and fear. So what he sees is that there's no way he can just say, hey, it's my son, son, come in, sit down, have some caviar, whatever they eat. They wouldn't have eaten caviar in India. They were vegetarians. Okay, so he sees that that's just not going to work. Anyway, so he lets the son go, but he finds out where he lives. And he sends two men to go and offer him a job. But he thinks, I better send some suitable men. So he sends two men who it describes as, in the sutra, one-eyed, squat, of common and uninspiring, of doleful and undignified appearance. So he sends the two sort of least prepossessing of his employees to go and search out his son in his hovel and offer him something. Offer him a job, basically. So they offer him a job shifting piles of dirt from outhouses. And they offer him double wages for it. So it's quite significant that he's offered what he's used to. He's offered something that's closer to what he's used to. And he's offered a reward that he can relate to. Double wages. I don't think, if it said, come and sit as a prince in state, and you can have, but he gives him something that he can relate to. Shoveling dirt from outhouses for double wages. So the son's delighted with this, double wages, he can buy almost enough dal and rice to feed himself. He works away cleaning out houses. He works away at cleaning out houses, moving piles of crap around. doing all the filthiest jobs around the place, and he does this for a long, long, long time. And his father observes him from the window, sees him from the window of his palace, and it says that he sees that his son is foolish and inferior and feels deeply sorry for him. So the father actually longs to end his son's present condition. He longs to have his son back, longs to end his son's present condition, but he knows he can't do that by force, that his son needs to grow, and he needs a strategy for that. So he's got to have a strategy to help his son grow to the point where he can be his heir. So he develops a strategy for gradually making his son less foolish and inferior, as he sees. Raising his self-image, raising his level of being, making him fit in this context to be almost a king's son.
We hope you enjoyed today's Dharma Bite. Please help us keep this free. Make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. And thank you.